Meanwhile, in the Republican presidential race, there appears to be more trouble for Herman Cain. New revelations surrounding his alleged affair with an Atlanta businesswoman.
Political correspondent Jan Crawford is in Nashville this morning with the very latest for us. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning. Herman Cain told a New Hampshire newspaper that quitting is an option, and he made some admissions about his relationship with Ginger White that indicate why it might be hard for him to stay in the race.
It was his most candid interview yet on the alleged 13-year affair, and Cain admitted he helped Ginger White financially.
She didn't have a job. She had told me that she was not able to get financial help from family and friends, and that, quite frankly, I was the only person that was a friend at the time, and I underscore friend, that was in a position to help her.
Cain also revealed his wife knew nothing about his friendship with White.
That was the revelation and the surprise that my wife found out about it when she went public with it.
Cain has continued with his campaign and has been warmly received by crowds. He spoke to college students last night at Middle Tennessee State University and was heckled by a handful of Occupy Wall Street protesters.
Don't be embarrassed that those young people wanted to stand up and talk about that they're part of the 99%. We have freedom of speech. Some people simply abuse it.
Cain heads home to Atlanta today to talk with his wife and family about whether he should stay in the race. But he told the paper he has not ruled out quitting. In a crowded field, that could help candidates like Newt Gingrich, who continues to surge ahead.
It's very hard not to look at the recent polls and think that the odds are very high I'm going to be the nominee.
But Gingrich has baggage, and now that he's a front-runner, will face scrutiny. A scathing new ad by Texas Congressman Ron Paul shows opponents have a lot of ground for attack.
He's flipped and flopped based on who's paying him.
He's demonstrating himself to be the very essence of the Washington insiders.
It's about serial hypocrisy.
Now, Gingrich is going to be hit hard for his ties to corporate interests, the ethics allegations and charges he faced when he was Speaker of the House, even his personal relationship, his adulterous affairs. So this ad just shows what he's got to face in the weeks ahead, and his opponents are ready to attack to start eroding that front-runner status. Jeff, Erica?
They do face intense scrutiny, any front-runner, frankly, anybody who's running for office. When it comes to Herman Cain, what's the thinking as to whether or not he can survive this and continue on with the campaign, because he's saying he's not done yet?
Well, even his, only really his diehard supporters, his campaign staff, think that he can stay in this race. Everyone else is saying they believe he is done. But people close to Cain say they think he's leaning against quitting. He's got enough money to get him through the Iowa caucuses, which are just a month from now. Of course, though, Erica, all that could change when he sits down with his wife later tonight and rethinks this thing.
Yeah, big meeting coming up there. Real quickly, I want to ask you about Rick Perry, who is still in the race. We saw him at the top. We saw his supporter road a little bit. But he's trying to use a little bit more humor these days, it seems, right?
Well, that's true, and some of his advisors and people close to him say that's his strategy. He's made a number of stumbles. Remember in the debate when he had that pause and he couldn't come up with a third federal agency that he wanted to quit? So he's got an ad out, kind of poking fun at him, saying, I'm not a slick debater. I'm an outsider. That's all part of the strategy, try to rehabilitate him. He was a front runner. He's now around 5th place. He's got a long way to go to make up that ground. This is the first part of it. After these ads come out showing kind of the softer, folksier side of Rick Perry, they're going to make a turn in the next couple weeks and start going after their opponents and their opponents' weaknesses, all with an eye on those Iowa caucuses that are just now just a month away, a little over a month away.
But who's counting, right? Jan Crawford in Nashville this morning. Jan, thanks.